Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars dad, here with a round table once again. Today we've got with us PhatPhil, the scribe, the scribble himself, the man with all the hair, and Vexitron, Sexy Vexy. What's up? All these fine gentlemen and PhatPhil join us today with their big brains. Welcome aboard, gentlemen. How is it going? Let's go. I got clockwise here for me. So, PhatPhil, we'll do a real quick intro. How you doing? Tell us about the channel. What's going on your channel these days?
Dude, yeah, we're just trying to survive on the channel. But we are expecting our third one in January, third child. So I've been kind of split between, okay, I want to focus on the channel, but got to help the wife and everything around the house a little bit more to get ready for baby number 3. So that's why we're here trying to survive on the channel, just kind of keep it going for what I can.
That's awesome. I feel bad that I didn't know that, but I think if you guys are like me, it's tough to watch everybody's content all the time, and I never caught. But congrats, man. That's great. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Sexy Vexy, what about you?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Mostly covering Grand Arena content, some conquests, some random events. Nothing, crazy going on in the game right now besides Hondo being kind of mid, but yeah, that's pretty much my channel.
All right, cool. Straight below me, Scrybe. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, I love being straight below you, Nooch. Things are great with me, brother. Things are great. I'm just basically kind of like operating as a Star Wars content creator with ADHD, just putting out video content that occurs to me at the time. But it seems to work sometimes, maybe.
I'm going to bet that there's a lot of ADHD in the room right now would be probably my guess. So, and back in my time, they just called me squirrely and told me I was a spaz. So, a little different situation. Like teachers. All right, let's talk about this. My first question, I've got 3 basic questions. I think it's going to generate a lot of discussion. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. With everything going on in the game right now, we've got Hondo, we got the Rogue One coming out, we've got this announcement of what I'm calling the mishmash era, with just kind of nothing specific, just kind of a bunch of fill-ins with Forlam, and I can't remember the other one's name.
Zuckuss.
Thank you, Zuckuth and Zuckuth. Zuckuss, yeah, Zuckuss taketh and Zuckuss cometh away. Anyway, I don't know what that was, but it didn't work. And also the Stranger, who are seeing funny comments from people like, I've never downloaded the Stranger, I hate Acolytes. Like, okay, you'll be all right, buddy. It's gonna be okay. We're here for you. Let's talk about the first thing. We'll start with PhatPhil on this one. Hondo, did you unlock Hondo, and how's it going? And you didn't you?
No, I do not have Hondo. I buy the episode pass, and that's kind of the extent of my spending. So I have all the pirates at like Relic 3, 5-star. That's kind of my like threshold for pain. I kind of stopped there. So I'm just waiting at this point. It is what it is. I've gone up against him in Squad Arena, and so far, I think he's going to be one of these characters where I think Territory War, much like GL Ahsoka, he's going to be a problem, because he'll be the first unit where he'll have a like conquest unit like Smee. Mm-hmm. So you've got 3 Territory War Omicrons there, and then you've got Brutus on top of that. And while we have Ahsoka and Jabba who have multiple Omicrons on that team, we don't have one with a conquest unit and another. So I think in Territory War he's going to be a bigger problem than we're seeing right now.
That makes sense. And have you beaten Hondo with anything that seems like it shouldn't beat him yet, or are you just kind of?
I would say nothing that I don't think should work, barring some ridiculous kind of datacron. Obviously, like, you got to take into account like the Krennic Kron is going to beat basically everything, so let's take that out of consideration. I think with the new datacron set, he'll be a little bit tougher to take out. Okay.
Vex, how about you with Hondo? Not only talking about him, but the idea of what Phil just said, which I think was good. Territory War based Galactic Legends, and not in their kit, but in the team around them. How do you feel about that, along with just Hondo in general himself?
It's such a weird thing where GLs are headed, because when they were first introduced, I feel like they were really, really good in every game mode. And now we're coming out with like, oh, Ahsoka really shines a lot in TW, but not really in Grand Arena as much. Well, she's still, decent, but these kits are now coming out with like, oh, they're not going to be the strongest GL in Grand Arena. They're going to be stronger in TW. Or, I mean, with Hondo, I did a bunch of testing on my first day, and obviously the Hermit Yotacron is all over Arena. Couldn't really do anything with JMK testing. It's hard to get squad Arena guys to chain squads out, but I find him just a little, I don't want to be too harsh, but he's kind of boring, and the team is lacking so much damage. Like, when you look at Leia's kit, like Leia in general, she is just like, she's a tank, but she's actually fun to use, and she actually can do like quite a bit of damage. Like, there's so much cool utility with her kit. Hondo is just, like, I know he's a support GL, but at least with Jabba, it was interesting because you had a really strong tank in Chrysanthemum. Like, I don't find Vayne to be a very strong tank. Like, I just feel like the team is just so lackluster. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a late game kind of team. Like, you know how like this, you know, you have an early game, a mid game, you have like a ramping kind of mechanic. Like, Scrybe mentioned it in his video yesterday about the flat mastery, making him go too crazy if it's percentage. But I like the idea of having all the other characters getting a percent, and he'll get the flat stat to control the evasion. Because, like, you're trying to get to, like, the team to do some damage, and it's 4 minutes in. It's like, what are we doing here? But that's just my overall opinion with him. I just think it's he's in a weird spot.
Yeah, I was going to jump in there. I was thinking about it when you make that sort of comparison between, you know, how Jabba comes in, Santi's a really good tank. He doesn't he can take a lot of damage. Vayne can take a lot of damage too, right? But I think one of the fundamental differences between like Jabba and Leia and what Hondo brings to the game, the Hondo team doesn't have that big, here's a big AoE that's going to slap down people and do real meaningful damage. All of it is single target, apart from Brutus's AoE, I think. And that's, it's kind of, yeah. You know, it's like, it's okay. Like, some of the single target damage is actually pretty high, but there's so much sustain that exists in the game right now that unless that single target damage is literally one-shotting people, you don't make any progress with the team. So it's like, I think individually, I think there are parts there that are fun, but there's nothing that really is like, oh, if I do this, especially because his ultimate does no damage either. And that was one of my disappointing packs. It's like, it's an AoE revive. That's great. But then, like, the tenuous agreement and whatever that pact thing is, you know, like the debuff and the buff he puts on his team, most of the time it feels like that does nothing. You know, like, you'll do it. They supposedly do 30% less damage, but you've revived 3 people. I don't think they get the buff. So they all get AoE'd and instantly die again anyway. And you're like, so what was the point? I've saved this ultimate to revive my team, and then they just get trounced immediately again afterwards. And you're just left with Hondo, who can raise his own mastery and occasionally do a basic for a lot of damage. Sorry. I'd want to,
No, that makes it, and it's like, you know, Leia has an AoE revive too, but hers does a lot of damage and other stuff, and she keeps her team alive better along the way. Like, all of it seems a lot better, and so I'm just,
and
log
this roll as well.
Say what?
You know, she's got the log roll as well. Another big AoE damage.
Yeah,
gives everybody the capability to ignore.
She removes protection with ambush. Like, she has Leia. I don't know if Leia is considered a overpowered GL, but she is by far the strongest by far. Like, just AoE, revive, healing, stealth. Like, what are the weaknesses? Like, all of it.
I think the problem is, and I think, Nooch, you kind of said this in our chat the other day where you were like, they're trying not to create super Galactic Legends. And I think that's a little bit of what happened with Leia, where she is so good to the point that to create something on par with her, or that is better than her, would just devastate the game. Because she's already probably the toughest Galactic Legend on a regular basis that you're like, I've got to counter this. And you create something better than that, and you're up a creek without a paddle.
That leads me into like another one of our points I want to talk about here today. So, because I think it all kind of blends together, is I feel like it's really been, in a lot of ways, and I might have been talking about this in our chat too, kind of a lackluster year in the game. Like, you've got the new Bad Batch who have some uses and they're kind of pesky. You got to kill them all, twice, and they hang around, then they all die at once. They're kind of goofy. You got the clones everybody was excited for because everybody wanted Lord Vader to be great, and they still doesn't seem like they make him great. Then Mace Windu's kind of like a TW team, and now Hondo. I don't know. It seems like maybe they got to a point in the game, like you were saying, and like we were talking about. It's like, is there like another step that's got to come to the game to really make things stand out, or is everything just? Is it almost impossible to make a kit now that's not balanced unless they just blow the whole thing up? I don't know. What Vex? What I mean? Any thoughts on that? Am I missing the mark there, or what do you think?
You know, I feel like the game took a big change when they took crystals out of Arena and they made it Grand Arena crystal based, because I've played this game since day one. We expect every new tune to be meta and game changing and the new top of the team. And I think the expectations for them when they changed the Grand Arena crystal process was, all right, we're not going to release every meta defining team that's brand new, but we're going to add an interesting factor to make it a little bit different going forward. So maybe as the player base, we have to just remove the whole every brand new thing is going to be the next big powerhouse, but more of a different utility for our roster kind of thing. Like, obviously, when Darth Revan came out, he was the meta. Gas came out, he was the meta.
Right.
Like, all these new different metas came out, but he's definitely lackluster. I mean, I barely beat any... I beat Lord Vader. I couldn't beat any Kenobis. Almost beat Jabba with the Shorty Kron. I mean, it's just... It's so hard when you release a GL and there's so much in the game to make him not shine. It's like a kind of slap in the face. You want him to shine on release and make him look good. He's not looking good right now. But maybe we just got to wait till the new Datacron set, which is a whole nother thing.
Have you got any of the new Datacron, the pirate set, Vex?
Not yet. No, I don't really wail like that.
Yeah, I don't normally either. I was speaking earlier before we went live with these guys here. I spent about 7,000 crystals getting a pirate cron up to level 9. I've eventually managed to get the level 6 on the pirate, but I couldn't get the silver level 9. And it does make a massive, massive difference to the team in terms of just general sustain. Because normally when you're facing off a team, you're just losing units quite a lot, to be honest, and then you're reviving them. But this keeps them around a lot longer, and they do eventually ramp a little bit more damage. But I don't know. I was saying in my video the other day, I think there is a large element of the current FDCs are skewing light side quite heavily with Hodocron, Rolocron, that sort of thing, giving boatloads of health and defense and bonus protection and all these sorts of gubbins, you know, that really... So it's hard to get a good idea, and they're obviously prolific. They're everywhere. But it leaves... It makes it feel really underwhelming when you get it day one and you're excited about a new Galactic Legend and you're just like, I can't even beat anything right now. You can't even beat anything. I could only test against... Like, I could beat layer teams, no problem. But everything else was like JMK and Glat. Facing Ahsoka with Hondo it's like nails on a chalkboard. It's so painful. You
can't hit Ezra. There's a point where you just can't hit him. There's no accuracy gain or anything. There's nothing you can do.
No, and they can't hit your Hondo very much. So
that's I was gonna say I fought a Hondo with my Ahsoka because I was curious, and I killed all the sides, and then I couldn't hit Hondo for a minute and a half. And it was it was so even, and this I was gonna say this earlier, like the giving him dodge I think is just a huge mistake.
It is a big mistake
because at some point he just gets to the point where you're not gonna be able to kill him. I don't care that you're like, oh, we only made it flat. It's like you put it in there, you know what you're trying to do, and it's gonna cause a lot of two shots, which at the end of the day, it is what it is. Advantage to the people who have them. But that to me feels very much like they're running out of ideas on how to make a Galactic Legend unique. And it's like, oh, let's just make him dodge. Everybody's favorite mechanic.
Genuinely, all they should have done is change that to a 10%, like either say, instead of 10 mastery flat, 10% mastery gains for everybody else, or 10% mastery gains for everybody, but caps Hondos at like 50%. So that he gets to a point where it's still like maybe hitting 50% at the time, but everybody else can continue to raise their mastery and make them do something, because it feels like it's really lacking that oomph. I know it's early days. We've had a day of testing, but I don't know. I'm with Vex on this one. It feels like it should be special when it first comes out. I'm not saying just completely dominant, destroy everything, blink and everything is gone, but at least be like, wow, I'm really glad I can do this.
From a historical perspective, to me, it kind of feels like when Lord Vader came out and there was no Maul, and he almost couldn't do anything. Like, gas was killing him. he couldn't kill
Gen
Jedi
2 is the
Master.
same.
Yeah, I mean, it
His
feels
cat was like 2 months after.
right, and it kind of feels. But we don't have anything new coming for unless we all get Maz Kanata and go, well, she actually does lift this, and we're gonna use her here because we don't care what you think. Where we should, I don't know. That doesn't seem likely because she's
Light side.
Yeah. So let's explore that a little bit more. So right now, we have 10 GLs in the game right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, I mean, over time, we're just going to keep filling up the roster with GLs. And now we have like a non-GL team that counters almost every single one of them, if not every single one of them, except for maybe Leia. But I mean, you got like Bo-Katan against Lord Vader. You've got, you got your Ufus against Rey, and on down the and if Rey doesn't have Ezra, it's even lighter. You're going with like a Star Killer team. I mean, are we at the point of the game where, and then kind of building off the other part of what we said, there's the GLs that are not super GLs, and they can be countered now by a lot of the new releases that come out. And maybe they were trying to avoid a Bo-Katan that's going to kill everything with only investing in 2 or 3 characters. I don't know where I'm going with that, but does that make sense what I'm kind of saying there? No?
I think I get it.
We've hit a weird point. We have hit a weird point when it comes to Grand Arena. Everything can be beaten in this game. And that's a good thing. Everything should be beaten. And there are certain teams with certain datacrons that have got like 1 or 2 counters. You need to have this, otherwise you're going to struggle. Hello, FTC Raycron, right? And that, I think that's, to a degree, it's healthy. And don't burn me at the stake. To a degree, it's healthy to have limited counters to certain things. But I think it is a problem when you've got like day 1 of a new GL and it's getting beaten by Gas, Maul Mandos, Ewoks. Yeah. I know it's with the Rolocron, right? And granted, you will get to just a solo Hondo and then he'll revive everybody, but you can time it out and double tap it. It's like, I don't know, shouldn't have a handful of non-GL counters to a brand new GL day 1. It feels a little bit iffy.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up Rolocron, because I think that's a larger part of this issue with the countering of Galactic Legends, is that the focused datacrons are playing a greater and greater role in your ability to do that. Because even like the Rolocron, I think it beats every single Galactic Legend with some team. Almost every single GL is falling to the Rolocron in some way, shape, or form.
Could be. It sounds about right.
Right?
I don't think.
I mean, maybe Rey is the only one that's not gonna lose to that. But otherwise, like that Kron, I think it's problematic, and it's like they need to almost rein those in, and maybe GLs would feel like Hondo would feel better, where you're not going to lose to friggin' Ewoks with it.
I have a small hot take.
Yeah, go.
I feel like when I'm going against an opponent in Grand Arena, it's not the GLs that fear me. It's some of the Conquest teams, like more. Mm-hmm. Like I'm more afraid of a Saw Luthen team than an Ahsoka Ezra team, even more. Like I feel like the game is pivoted where, just off my experience with like different characters, like I feel like the Conquest units, certain ones, are more important than even the GLs at this point. In some aspect.
It's like when you look at like the Krennic Kron, the FDC for the Krennic Kron, right? We obviously nobody uses it with Krennic. Why would you? But you put it with the Queen Amidala team, you kill anything, right? It's that good, pretty much anything, right? So, but when you're talking about the Conquest unit, when it comes to GAC, whenever you look for the Ezra and you're like, that's where Queen Amidala and the Krennic Kron is going. You plan your attacks around where the Conquest unit is. Not is it Glat? No. Is it JMK? No. It's where's Ezra? Yeah. Where's Ezra? Yeah. He's the game changer here.
Ahsoka Tano without Ezra is nothing. Like I'm talking. Yeah, she's a joke. What can Ahsoka do on offense without Ezra? The whole team. I have no idea. Can she even take out a GL?
I don't think she beats.
I don't
I
know.
only beat a Jabba once.
Okay, maybe
nearly beating a Jabba is.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with her if Ezra's not on that team. It's like the Conquest character is so important lately. Like I don't know.
Well,
it's like you're. Go ahead, Nooch.
No, you go, Phil.
I was just gonna say, for me, I throw Queen Amidala on defense with the Krennic Kron and let my opponent sort that out, and it's been pretty successful in Grand Arena a lot of times. But I see Ezra, and I'm like, that's where Leia goes. So like the opposite of the Krennic, it's like I see Ezra, that's where I'm using Leia, and that's so bad. And if I see him with Rey, I get even more excited because then I know Ahsoka is so weak that it doesn't matter.
See,
So I don't even have to
that's
sweat.
really funny, man, because if you think about it, right, we used to, like, GLs were like, shown to be, these are the greatest units in the game. These are the ones that you're going to want to build your roster for because, these are the teams to beat. But realistically, it's flipped on its head. The GL teams are now the teams that we use to beat the tough teams rather than being the tough teams themselves. It's like, oh, yeah, I got to use my GL to take down this Conquest unit team instead of, oh, God, there's a GL on defense. What do I do? It's weird.
That kind of started back like with Lord Vader and Jedi Master Kenobi, right? I mean, they both at the time, Jedi Master Kenobi without Cat is the same as Ahsoka without Ezra. It's just, Gas beats him.
Gas.
And and Lord Vader at the time without Maul was similar. Although that long term, you get the right cron, you put it on Lord Vader, and he's, that's kind of a iffy one, but that's been going on for a while, and I think it's really interesting. I think that's a really good observation, Vex. Some good call out. And what I'm curious for us as a group, and we'll keep watching this for going forward, is like, what does it look like long term, like with the game? As we get Galactic Legend number 11, and we maybe get another big capital ship. I don't know. At some point, if that ever happens, how does this stuff balance out? And maybe they start balancing it out with. Let's go to our next topic. The Rogue One. So Rogue One comes out, and now we take Punishing One and we flip that to the side. And I want to talk about. I like you guys to talk about Rogue One a little bit. And part of my curiosity, and we're going to satisfy this on Tuesday, is this going to be like a Punishing One? I think it is, where you can get it at 3 or 4 stars. And you don't need to take. You get to 7 stars eventually, but really it's just there because it's breach immunity that everybody gets, right? If it's in the reinforcements, and when it comes out, you can't.
Profundity.
Only with profundity, right? Yeah, correct. And then and then it can't be targeted, right? So. Mm-hmm. Do you need that thing at 7 stars to be effective, or can we come out there with it, unlock it at 3 or 4 stars, and take it in there and destroy the Executor every time?
It's going to be 3-star. It's going to be like when Bastila Shan first released. She was just goated at 3 stars. Like, she was the best Jedi lead because Revan wasn't a thing. GMY lead, I think he just got his Zeta, and Basti was immediately better, like in every single way as a leadership. This thing, unless, okay, let's caveat it, unless the ability to essentially hard counter the Punishing One is tied to star levels,
right?
Then it's going to be an immediate 3-star, throw it on pretty much any fleet. Now, the breach immunity only applies to Profundity, but I think part of it states that the cooldowns of the Punishing One cannot be reduced if this thing's in reinforcements, and I don't think that has to be on on Profundity fleets. I think that can be in any fleet. So it's even a soft counter to Punishing One on any fleet. So you can use it in your Executor mirror matches if you wanted. Just keep it on the bench. You don't even have to call it in. It's still going to be there. Like, if you call it in fact, you're probably running a risk of it dying and then losing the bonus. So, like, you just leave it there and never call it in. So I think it's going to be a massive, massive game changer. I'm just surprised we didn't see a nerf to the Chimera for some reason.
Yeah. I was curious about that too. I'm wondering if the Empire. I think the one thing will be that at the 7-star, it's that if Profundity is the ally capital ship, reset the cooldown of call reinforcements, and if the enemy capital ship is not Sith, increase download by 20%. And so I think the problem we'll run into there is the RNG of how quickly they get download progress. Because you think that fight can drag on with Profundity for a while where they're not gaining that, but it coming in and giving 20%, that feels like it's pretty devastating.
Didn't they recently change the ability max tier? It's no longer locked behind gear or star? Or am I making that up?
I thought that was just
pilots,
characters.
Yeah. No, the pilot's abilities on ships now aren't tied to gear level on the pilots.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a recent change.
Is the reinforcements still gated by star count?
That's the question.
I think so.
Yes.
I'm actually on
it's 5 stars.
Up here. I'll probably tell.
Interesting.
Yeah, it should be 5 stars, isn't it?
I don't know, Vex, what are your thoughts on the Rogue One coming up here? And I have to wonder, what's the B-Wing going to be for? Is that going to lift our home one? Like, where are we sticking that thing at when it comes out, right?
Me personally, I just find it very funny. I feel like we're in an Uno reverse card situation where it's like, okay, punishing one here changes meta. Now we got Rogue One back to where we started. Like they were like, what? 2 years of okay. I used to beat Executive with Profundity. All right, we're not going to do that. Oh, now here's a ship so you can do that again. Like, what a really weird way to like. I don't know. I don't know if any other game is a 2-year meta normal. I mean, Leviathan is just that release was miserable. I mean, I remember I wasn't even a content creator then, but out of
So
all the
many
years I've
bugs.
played this game, that was by far the worst release they had.
Uh-oh.
Oh, did we lose Vex?
We lost him. New
Oh,
York
rip
internet gave
Vex.
out. We'll see if he comes back on.
I'll riff on his point real quick there. Yes, the Leviathan Leviathan release was super bugged, but it did give us one of the greatest bugs in the game ever. Where the Mark 6 Interceptor could one-tap the enemy capital ship.
I don't
That
remember
was
that.
the best bug. You could target the capital ship and basic it, and it would die.
How long did that last?
Oh, that was around
Maybe
for a
like a
couple of
week.
months. That was. Oh, was it?
Was
really
it
only a week? Oh,
I don't
okay,
remember
fine.
It was like
all.
a week.
It was so cool.
It was the funniest thing you'd ever seen in your life. Where it's just like coming, doop.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the thing is, the shot took like 30 seconds to land because the capital ships are so far away. So you just see the go, pew, and it just goes, touches the capital ship, and it just disappears. It's
That's
like,
awesome.
Hey.
So let's wrap it up with this. This new era to me is kind of like a take a breath, step back. You've just spent a bunch of money on a Galactic Legend. A couple of ships gives us about 3 weeks to not farm any characters if we don't need to, or go get that team up that you weren't worried about. It's been a long time since you really had a good breather in the game, and I mean like maybe years, especially since eras are now out and they're doing every 2 weeks, but it feels like there he is, he's back.
Power went out. I don't know what to say.
I get it. I've been there, done that. What are your guys' thoughts on this era? Because it feels to me like the 2 ships, we'll see what B-Wing does. We're going to get Rogue One and be able to use it 3 or 4, maybe 5 stars like we talked about. And then we're getting the 2 bounty hunters. We don't even know if they're going to be tagged as bounty hunters. I assume they would be. Do they actually have an impact on the game? What do they do? And then we got the Stranger. And then, of course, I think November 18th, this era ends, and we go straight into 10th anniversary, and I'd be shocked if it wasn't Force Awakens. I mean, I just can't imagine anything else. So what are your overall thoughts on this era that's coming up on us right now? Let's start with Phil and kind of get your thoughts about this new era.
It feels like they're just buying time. That I think this whole era system, I think in a way it's been really nice. It's provided, I think, some much needed how would I phrase this? Like, I don't want to say like scheduling or
Consistency,
some framework.
nice cadence.
Yes, yeah, like it's felt like, okay, you know what's coming. There's not as much ambiguity on what to work on. So if you are a player trying to figure out what direction to head, this era system at least kind of gives you an idea of what that is and the direction to head. But I do think it has kind of shown where I think they are falling behind in some areas. And like the Hondo event, I watched a little bit of it, and it was like you're playing through other Galactic Legend events.
Uh-huh.
So you couldn't even create you're just throwing Hondo in like the Jedi Knight Luke event again, which I thought was very lame, and I'm like, that's not cool.
I thought it was
And
hilarious. I'll be honest. I understand the complaints of people thinking you couldn't make new stuff. I get it, but it still gave me a giggle. It still gave me a
I
giggle.
think if they did it for like the first 2, fine. You want to make the first 3 tiers a meme? Go ahead. That's a good laugh. But like, give us something in his journey that was something part of the Clone Wars or Rebels or something.
Yeah, it was the same thing with Ahsoka. You did the ultimate battle 10 times, and it was just pure agony. So it seems like they're struggling to keep up, and that this era is a bigger example of that, where we're going to throw in some stuff that doesn't really tie into anything, that doesn't really hamstring us in any major way while we gear up for whatever's coming next. So I don't hate it. Like, I'm glad we're getting a Profundity Lifter, but then you come in and change Leviathan so Profundity doesn't work, and it's like, all right, well, that was fun while it lasted.
I got you. Vex, what are your thoughts on the on this current era that we're about to go through?
I hate being like negative or like just disappointed, but like it's been kind of a dry year so far, in my opinion, for the game. Like the Bad Batch, okay, like they're cool. I like the show, but we already had a Bad Batch team. Nothing that really draws me in. I have to admit, Revenge of the Sith got me very excited. It was my favorite Star Wars movie. Lord Vader getting a clone team, that's fun. Didn't really change much for him, in my opinion. Okay, Fennec can't beat him anymore. He's still doing what he was doing previously, and the same non-Fennec teams are still beating him as well. So, I mean, if you have the modding correct for Bo, he still gets taken out by Bo. And now with the pirate thing, no disrespect to Hondo, I don't consider him a GL-worthy character if you look at all the other characters in the game. Like, I'd rather have gotten a GL Han or Maul or something. Like, they're more of a bigger name in Star Wars, but okay, fine. I thought by getting past the pirate era, we were going to get to something more exciting, like The Force Awakens, or hopefully one day they go back to KOTOR content. That's my passion for the game, but this is just filler. I think they're just trying to really fill the gaps with the different things, but I'm not going to say I'm the most excited for it, but if something fun or better is coming next, I'm here for the ride.
Mr. Scribble, take us home.
I was completely sideswiped by it. I was like, we're getting what now? We haven't had a ship since the Punishing one, right? We get 2 back-to-back ships. Presumably it's not leading to a new Rebel capital ship, because I don't see that happening. And then we get Forlom and Zuckuss. And I'm like, who had Forlom and Zuckuss on their marquee bingo card for Q4 of this year? If someone says, yeah, knew it was coming, liar, and go buy a lottery ticket, all right? No, you did not see it coming. And then randomly throw in a stranger. He doesn't even fit with the rest of them. and I really don't think Acolyte, the era of the Acolyte is coming next. So
No.
it's not like they're going to, well, I don't think they're going to push into that. So it's like, 1, what? 2, why? I mean, maybe like you guys are saying, they were just like, oh, well, we had a little bit of a gap in the schedule. This is, sorry, Brits say schedule. I know Americans say schedule. Yeah,
What?
Because this isn't even like a full era, is it? It's 4 weeks. It's 4 marquees as opposed to 5 or 6. And I know the end of the year they do it short, but I'm pretty sure we had up until like mid-December, and this one's going until mid-November. So it's like, what are we missing at the end of the year? And what can they do there? Are they going to release 2 characters? Are we going to get 1 character at the end of the year? Or are they just going to skip until January? It just leaves me very confused and not particularly excited. I am very happy that the Profundity has been absolved and now is rightfully going to beat 7 shades of rubbish into the Executor as it deserves. Okay? Stupid Punishing one. Stupid ship. Now it can have its own taste of its own medicine. Good. Of course, CG does CG's things and completely buffs the Leviathan again. But hey, I mean, what should we expect, right?
Baldman got a little angry there. So
I'm just passionate. I hate the Punishing one.
So it sounds like we're all kind of on a very similar page here, where the game's in a weird spot. We've had, I mean, nobody was excited about Pirates, and is this next era enough? It doesn't seem anybody's going to be super excited except for Rogue One, and that's really an in-game ignite. Like, nobody was sitting there waiting for Rogue One in-game. Like, you know, Vex talks about, we haven't had KOTOR since, holy cow, what, 2018?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, or whatever it was. And so it feels like they are kind of trying to lag out until next year when maybe something big. I even said in a video, I hope that they will bring out KOTOR next year, and then the year after that is going to be all about A New Hope and Attack of the Clones and Mando, because some people were in my comments like, Mando's coming with the movie. I'm like, no, he's not. That's not how they do it. They never bring out the GL with the movie. It doesn't happen.
Usually later.
Yeah, usually it's like 9 months to a year later. And my other thought is, I do think that this is just a thought I'm going to throw in here. I think that Star Wars as a franchise and an IP and this game is heavily dependent on Mando and Grogu being a banger movie, because we haven't had a big piece of content in a long time. Except Andor's great, but it's not like that normie awesome content type of thing.
It's not a movie. It's not a movie.
Right. Anyway, that's what we got to say. Anybody got any interesting parting thoughts or anything I'm missing out on before we let you go here?
No.
All right.
Just
silence is
excited for
golden.
Tuesday.
Gentlemen, everybody, hey, go check out PhatPhil, Vexitron. PhatPhil, Vexitron, and Scrybe out there on the YouTubes. Thanks for joining us today, gentlemen. Good to talk about the game. I'm sure we'll be back here soon to discuss whatever comes after this era that's getting us all jacked up and excited with the Galactic Legend Hondo. Hey, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Remember, along with Nooch, everybody here is too good.